am back from spring break. Boy, bell call's quiet. Where is everybody? All right, well, I hope I'm not late to class. Let's see. All the public history materials here. Oh, hold on. It's kind of dark. Huh. Oh, man, somebody locked the door. Hello? Hello?
Hey, folks. Greetings from a very empty Sanford Mall. And Spire statue's still here. It's waiting for you. Just maybe not this semester. So this is the introduction video to the rest of our class. I'm making this video for all of my classes. However, the ending of the video will be different depending on which class you're in. It's all still here, as am I, strangely. Now there's a apocryphal Chinese saying. It's not really Chinese, it's may you live in interesting times. I don't know about you, but I'd rather live in really plain, really boring times. Predictable times. Times where I know when I need to be on campus. Times when I know I have office hours. Times I know when I'm going to be in class with you all. Well, we're going to be sort of together for the next 6.5 weeks of our spring semester. This video is to give you a chance to hear from me and see me about what we're up to, what we're doing, and how we're going to navigate this together. Alright, I'm going to change location so I'm not a crazy guy talking into a GoPro with some dudes playing Frisbee on Sanford Mall. So we're going online. Virtual learning for the rest of our semester, most likely. What does that mean for you? And what does that mean for us as a class going forward? A few things. Schedule, projects, grades. There's people here. And a few other policy notes. Schedule. We have, by my count, we have 7 weeks remaining in the semester. By my count, week 7 is final exams week, which, surprise, y'all don't have final exams. You didn't before. You don't now. Week 6 is only half of a week, because we have Tuesday, April 28th, and then there's supposed to be a reading day where you can not be in class and prepare for final exams while you're taking your classes at a distance while not being physically in class. Reading day, the mid-pandemic. So, schedule-wise, going forward, I am treating every week of our semester that remain as a learning unit. Every week is going to have a theme, and during every week, I will be posting to As You Learn 2 activities. Now, the activities may be presentations, the activities may be lectures, the activities may be some brief presentation followed by something I would like you to do on your own, either reading an article and writing a response, brief response, or continuing some work on a course project. That's going to matter a lot for folks in 2 of my courses, Landscapes and Contemporary American Religion. You all, I'm going to talk to you separately in the end of this video when I'm back home in Knoxville, quarantined away in my studio that I'm putting together just for class. So, that means our projects and our grading structure is going to have some changes, but not too many changes, not too significant, nothing to worry about. My overriding goal here is for you all to be healthy, to be safe, and to complete your semester with a reasonable number of learning goals that I have for the class. Alright, so this video is what you need to watch for Tuesday, March 23rd. There will be a very short activity just to get you back into the flow of things amidst all that's gone on over our extended spring break. And then every week, for a equivalent of Tuesday, Thursday, I'll post 2 activities. Activities will be due by the end of that week, which for us is going to be a Sunday. That means, let's see, I shouldn't touch my face, should I? If you submit the activities for a given week by the end of that week, you get a 2% bonus on each activity. If you submit activities from week 1 by the end of the following week, so the following Sunday, then you get full credit. After that, every week you lose some percentage points, but to no more than 50%. If you end up missing a few weeks because of circumstances, just let me know if you can. And every activity we do for the next 6 weeks of the semester will be due by May 5th at 11:59 p.m. If you don't get everything in and you haven't talked to me, then, well, you know the deal, right? Okay. Projects. Oh, your projects. Well, that's going to be something I will talk to you at the end of this video when I'm back at home in my studio. Yeah, it's kind of the bonus room of the garage, but I'm setting it up as a studio, lighting, boom mic, yeah. Anyway, your projects are for the most part going to continue as originally planned for your class, but with some online modifications. For instance, if you had a project for class that expected you to use the library, well, as of 1 minute from now, the library is closing indefinitely due to the pandemic. So, obviously, those projects are going to shift and change a little bit. They're still going to have the same focus, but they're going to change a bit. Also, if you have a project that was a group or collaborative project, either something you're in the middle of, Sacred Spaces, or something that is coming up down the road, Landscapes, we are still tentatively going to pursue those as group projects, thanks to the magic of Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Slides, right? Google Sheets, Google Slides. I don't use Google, but you do, and we're going to use it. We're going to use it, okay? Anyway, we'll still proceed with those group projects as collaborative projects. However, if something comes up, if something in your living situation, wherever you are right now, and I need to stress, I hope you're safe, I hope you're well, hope everybody in your family is well. If something comes up and you would rather complete those group projects as an individual, please get in touch with me as soon as you can, and I will redesign portions of those projects that could be done on your own. I still think at a time like this, when we're cooped up in the house, around our family more than we thought we would be at this time, our kids are out of school and starting to go stir crazy despite how much screen time and Roblox and God help me, anyway. So I think at a time like this, it's good to reach out, good to collaborate, good to connect, and feel still connected to your university. So, next location. I am currently, as of Friday, March 20th, working on finishing touches to get our revised syllabi on As You Learn. And beginning this weekend through next week, I will be populating our As You Learn course site with materials and activities to last us the rest of the semester. I'll include our new grading concerns, activities, and projects in the syllabus. total point value for each class has remained the same, and anything that you have completed so far, readings, quizzes, activities, lecture notes, reading response, if you're in contemporary American religion, all of those grades count towards your final grade. All right, a few course logistics issues, and then the next time you see me, I'll be back home in Knoxville talking to your class individually. Our As You Learn course site through the rest of the semester will be our course hub. It will be our point of contact. Material for our class will be there waiting for you. And again, arranged on a week-by-week, unit-by-unit basis. We will be proceeding for the next couple weeks, week 1 and week 2, asynchronously, meaning that we won't have opportunities to meet together, largely because I want to get everything together, I want everything on our course site. But after that, I would like opportunities to chat at you, talk with you. And the way that that's going to happen, is first, I have expanded my online virtual office hours. Y'all are snickering at me, the old guy using Google Hangouts. Whoever used that anymore? It's like using Facebook. Well, hey, guess what? Google Hangouts, my old office, virtual office hours are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30 to noon. The new hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to noon. And my I will respond to you as soon as possible doctrine of replying to your emails is in full effect. Also, you will be receiving from me, or should have received from me by the time you see this video, a survey asking about where are you at? Do you have internet access? Of course, I'm sending you a survey via email and asking you if you have internet access. But anyway, some of y'all may have like lousy internet access. Some of you all may have like, man, I'm playing my best video games on this T1 super fidelity connection for Comcast sort of connection. And I just want to see what kind of network access y'all have. I also want to see what times and what days of the week do you think would be best for us to meet? Virtually, safely. Viruses can't travel over the interwebs yet. What we want to do is I'm going to be, for now, a lot of faculty here are using Zoom, and maybe we'll move to Zoom at some point. But initially, I am posting all of your course videos to a YouTube channel. Yeah, all those years I've spent watching car mechanics and tech reviewers on YouTube might actually start paying off. Except these channels would be pretty amateurish. However, your course, all the course videos will be posted on a YouTube channel to your class. Links directly to each video will be on As You Learn. What I would like to do, at least in the short term, beginning week 3 of our semester together, our remaining time together, is run a live stream via YouTube and 1 day a week, where you all are free to drop in. There's no attendance requirement, but you can drop in, chat away. I can answer questions. I can address any issues that you might be having in class, or questions about assignments or collaboration, and we can run it from there. And if there's enough interest and we want to go ahead with it, we can start on transitioning over to Zoom and teleconferencing. So opportunities to pick up your cat or your dog and just hang out and see each other if you'd like. But it's up to you. So, in the meantime, be safe, be healthy, yourselves, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors. If you have any elderly neighbors, anybody that's older in your community and they need someone to go to the grocery store for them, someone who can make their own toilet paper or magically find where all the toilet paper supplies are hidden, now, be kind. Because if there's one thing this has shown us, it's just how interconnected we are, how dependent we are on each other. With that note, I'll see you in a moment.
All right, so here's a screencast of our syllabus. I want to go over a few things with you all, pointing out things that are in the syllabus, such as assignments and course policies that are no longer relevant, as well as focusing on what's relevant and what's changed, and what to worry about going forward. As you can see on the first page of our syllabus, course times have been struck through. Office hours in person and physical office has all been struck through as well. Please notice that all of our first year seminar learning goals and general education goals are still in place. Classroom conduct. Hey, I don't really care how you conduct yourself when you've logged into our website, but I do care that the Common Reading Program book is still an expectation. We'll get to that in a little bit. Grammar and citations is also full of strike-through text. What does this mean for you for your library research project? I must use air quotes around now. We'll talk about that in just a bit. What this means is that we were originally going to have a Chicago Manual of Style workshop on the day you're supposed to return from spring break, and I therefore do not feel it is fair to ask you to use Chicago style for your library research. Therefore, if my assumption going forward is that you will use whatever academic style that you are comfortable and familiar with, and most likely that is MLA. I don't like MLA, but I will live with it. Got worse things I gotta live with these days anyway, right? Inclement weather policy doesn't really matter either. Please note syllabus changes. This syllabus is subject to change based on your instructor's assessment of our course progress. Yeah, I really should have predicted a pandemic and had a pandemic provision in this syllabus change section of the course policy, but here we are. What are those changes? Well, as you can see, our old course grading structure is all struck through here. Attendance policy is also thrown out the window, but here's what the changes are. Before we move deeper into the changes, I do want to highlight a couple bullet points. I didn't sign up for this. You didn't sign up for this. You signed up for a class that meets in person, that trudges through the ASU Biological Preserve, that does its best not to fall into Boone Creek, and to wander through a cemetery in downtown looking at historic architecture. That's the class I signed up to teach, not some weird amalgamation of sitting here in my studio at home and editing videos for you to vicariously experience those things we were supposed to do together. Also, we can't do virtually the things that we were expecting to do in person, and that's the real kicker for our class. That just hurts me. But we're going to move forward. We're going to do what we can. Notes about general changes. We are moving forward for the next 7 weeks on a week-by-week basis. Week 7 is final exams week, and at that point, there will only be some things that you need to make sure you get submitted, and that's what we'll be worried about for week 7. Week 6 is a half week for us because, well, reading day. So for the next 5.5 weeks, this week and the next several weeks, we'll be moving ahead week by week, treating each week as a virtual learning unit that begins on a Monday and ends on a Sunday. Each week will have 2 activity sets. Watch this, do that kind of activities. They may be video presentations, lectures, documentaries, or mini projects that I ask you to do on your own. Each activity expects a response from you of some kind, a brief reflection, a quick project. I'm really leaning against online quizzes at this point, by the way. We'll move in this way through at least next week, week 2. And then week 3, once I've looked over your survey results, please, if you have not already, consider completing the surveys that I emailed out. I will look over those surveys to try to figure out some good common times that I can post a weekly session initially on YouTube as a live stream that you can drop in and text chat at me with questions. I'll address issues with class, issues with projects, and I'll also give you some updates on the university based on faculty emails I've received from various university offices as they impact you or may be of relevance to you. If there's enough interest and we can nail down specific time frames, I would be happy to do a Zoom session sitting here and chatting at you face to face that we can then record that Zoom session and post it on our YouTube page. More information about the YouTube page is forthcoming by email. And then finally, before we leave this page, please note that I have expanded my online office hours via Google Hangouts, 9:30 a.m. to noon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And as in the before spring break, my policy of always trying my best to reply to emails ASAP still applies today. Grade changes. We are still operating on a 200-point grade scale. First half of semester grades that continue to count. Why wouldn't they? Our in-class projects, I counted 2, the landscape photography project and the downtown Boone architecture crawl, 15 points. Lectures 1, 2, and 3 for 20 points. And if you're saying, wait a minute, I didn't get a chance to resend you my peer-reviewed lecture note 3 from our local history lecture. Well, yeah, that became a casualty of the university canceling classes for the week after spring break. And so, hey, everybody gets credit. There you go. And then, of course, we had 4 quizzes before spring break. And so those 20 points for those quizzes are still sitting here in our grade. Second half of semester grades. Library research guide. Oh, we got to talk about that. Landscape reconstruction project. I'm still hopeful. I'm still moving ahead with that. There's a couple things we can't do with it, but otherwise I think it's still perfectly doable as originally planned. Common reading project and those weekly activities. You can see the grade breakdown right here. Projects. I mentioned about the activities. They are going to proceed on a weekly basis. If you submit activities by a week's activities by the end of that week, that Sunday, you receive a 2% bonus on each submitted activity. If, for instance, you submit week 1's activities by the end of week 2, you'll still get full credit. You just won't get the bonus opportunity. If you submit week 2's activities by the end of week 3, you'll get full credit. You just won't get the bonus opportunity. However, once there's a 2-week lag time on any week's project activities, so for instance, if you don't get a chance to submit week 1's activities until week 3, you'll lose 5%. There's a 5% penalty per week after the following week. The final activity due date, this is the point where if you have any activity that you didn't do before and you want to get at least half credit for it, please submit that late activity by May. Anything not submitted by May 5th won't receive credit unless you get in touch with me and tell me what's going on, what's happening, okay? I'm more than happy to work with y'all on making sure you get through the semester, get done first year seminar, and can move forward from here. Let's talk that library research guide. I am assuming that maybe half of you, or 60% of you, made some good effort and progress on the research guide before spring break. I'm assuming that somewhere between 40 to 50% of you might have delayed work on that library research guide for after spring break. That means that half or slightly less of you are really up a creek, and there's no library paddle to use because the library is closed and you're not back, presumably, not back on campus. And even if you were back on campus, you can't get in the library. So what do? I am working and will have posted tomorrow, Wednesday, March 25th, a substantially revised assignment guide for our library research project. The project is going to vary in 2 ways. One, if you have already completed a substantial amount of the project before spring break, like you went to the special collections library, you looked through the clippings drawers, you looked at the dictionary or encyclopedia of Appalachia, and you had a good amount, but you just weren't done yet.
there's one route to go there. On the other hand, if you're one of my students who, God bless procrastination, didn't start on it yet, there's another route you can take there. And that's going to focus on academic journals, and it's going to look a lot more like an annotated bibliography instead of a library research guide. Okay? Look for that assignment guide to be revised and posted tomorrow at some point in the day. The landscape reconstruction project is still moving ahead. However, I have reduced my expectations. It remains a collaborative team project. However, if your living situation precludes you from engaging in a team project, please let me know ASAP, as I do have an alternative assignment that's comparable to the team project. All materials that you need for this project, fortunately, have been online for a while in digital format from the Special Collections Library and from the University Archives. It's just a matter for you to decide if this is a project that you would rather do on your own, or if you would like to reach out and collaborate and take this opportunity of social distancing to connect virtually with some of your classmates. Finally, those projects we did, which I think at this point, like I said before, were the landscape photography project or the downtown Boone architecture crawl on that rainy day in Boone. Those projects, if you missed those days and had an excused absence, you were entitled to do a makeup project. I will post new makeup projects that you can do remotely on your own in your local community, local health conditions permitting, later this semester. And they will be due on May 7th. Our semester schedule looks a bit like this going forward. This week's theme is the natural landscape. We have a brief talk today, followed by the second activity for the week, exploring Boone Creek and how to use Google Earth Pro. We will be using Google Earth Pro multiple times going forward this semester, including for your landscape reconstruction project. So watch the second activity video on Boone Creek, and then the Google Earth Pro introduction. That is the second activity that's posted for this week. Next week, week 2, continuing with the natural landscape, we're going to take a look at the marble industry, one of the 3 big extractive industries in late 19th, early 20th century southern Appalachia. Here in Knoxville, Tennessee, I am in the heart of that industry, and so I am going to violate quarantine. I think I can do this without getting in trouble, right? Maybe. Anyway, I'm going to go take my daily walk as we're all facing shelter-in-place orders over here in Knoxville. I'm going to take my quote-unquote daily walk to some important sites related to the marble industry of southern Appalachia. And I'll post that video next week. And then also next week, we're going to take a look at the Hardin Council Family Cemetery. That's the cemetery behind the Student Union on Howard Street. And for that activity, I was joined by a special guest, Trent Margriff, who is a senior lecturer in general education, another first-year seminar instructor who does historic buildings, historic preservation. He's a public historian, and so he added some information to our video for us in rather school-spirited dress. I'll just say that. You'll see it when you see it. Week after, we're going to take a look at some archival activities. And archival activities, really, even before the pandemic, were intended to dominate our end-of-semester schedule. So, week 3, historic photographs and historic maps activities. Week 4, the Sanborn Insurance Map and downtown Boone buildings. Then we'll talk a little bit about the landscape reconstruction project and university timelines, navigating and using those. You will focus on campus building timelines. I want to show you some of the other timelines with notable moments in Appalachian State's history. Week 5, we'll talk about the historical photos database and using that to collect material for your landscape reconstruction project. We'll also talk about creating a historical map of campus via Google Earth Pro. So I'll see how we can do that. And then week 6, I would like to have a live stream or Zoom session that week. That is considered really a critical part of class to talk about that research project. Okay, so if you're thinking ahead, think about come week 4, the end of week 4, to be in collaborative, at a distance, virtual groups to start working on our landscape reconstruction project. Activities deadline, Tuesday, May 5th, and final project deadline, Thursday, May 7th. So, for the rest of this week, watch this video, which ends in just a moment. 2, watch the screencast of using Google Earth Pro and the video of Boone Creek. There will be a brief activity tied to both of those for the second activity for our week. Some questions to answer about Boone Creek using Google Earth Pro. In the meantime, stay safe, be healthy. Talk to you soon.